Bars.
Live from the Windy C Radio studio in the shops at Iverson, this is the Balancing Act Radio Show, hosted by AJ Throwback, only on WindyCRadio.com, the Windy C Radio app, Facebook Live and YouTube Live on the Windy C Radio pages, and of course, it's all powered by GoWin.media.
Good now? Oh yeah, I can hear myself now. Okay. Well, let me try that again, everybody. Good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens, and everybody in between. Welcome once again, Bars. Right here with your man, AJ Throwback. Appreciate y'all for tuning in on this beautiful, warm Wednesday morning. Probably be one of the last warm days like this of what's still officially summer, y'all. Only about 11 days left in summer. So make sure y'all enjoy it today. But if you're not out and about and you're listening to me, I appreciate you for tuning in. Once again, shout out to my man Calvin Williams of Lush Vibes Radio. Please follow my man Lush Vibes Radio, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Appreciate your support every single week, my brother, as well as Miss Razzle Dazzle and Daddy Razzle Dazzle. All of y'all representing Team Bars. I appreciate y'all for tuning in this morning. This morning we have two very special guests. Shamain, she'll be in probably about 11:30. Running a little bit late, but she will be here. We'll be talking to her about her upcoming EP called Do Your Worst, and her single of the same title, and her video, which I don't know if y'all follow Shamain on Instagram, but she has some very interesting teasers for this video. But we're gonna talk about all of that. And also at noon we have calling in from North Carolina by way of Jersey, lyricist extraordinaire, bars, brains, beauty, Venomiss. Be calling in. Looking forward to both of these interviews today. But for now, we're gonna go ahead and get into the best and the brightest of independent music from the DMV and beyond. This is Amani Philly with Only You on the official Hump Day Motivation for the DMV and beyond. And before I go to break, shout out my main man Youngblood. Just checked in. Appreciate you for tuning in. Appreciate everybody who's tuned in right now. You're listening to the official Hump Day Motivation for the DMV and beyond. This is Bars.
Touch me. Only you. Only you can touch me. Touch me, hold me, love me, squeeze me like you do. I don't want nobody else if it's not you. squeeze me like you do. And I will scream your name. 'Cause it don't mean a thing. And I will scream your name. 'Cause it don't mean a thing. For me to tell you I want you, yeah. For me to tell you I want you, yeah. And I will scream your name. 'Cause it don't mean a thing. And I will scream your name. 'Cause it don't mean a thing. For me to tell you I want you, yeah. For me to tell you I want you, If you're an urban contemporary indie artist, then this is your platform. Send us clean versions of your music to balancingactradioshow@gmail.com. That's balancingactradioshow@gmail.com.
It's a special delivery. I'm the real thing, these fake just pretend to be. All that chatter cause they wanna see the end of me. Don't be acting friendly with me, keep that same energy. Real bitches with me. Them at the double tree. Are you mad though? Get a bag, couldn't come close. Money, power, and respect, yeah, I need those. Shine down with my team just to make a toast. What the though? What a blunt go. 5, 4, 3, 2, money don't fold. Pockets on swole, like limp nose. Rap, copy, read like Kinko's. Fell off, bounce back on those 10 toes. Made him leave his old hoe. Pulled up to her job, she ain't want smoke. Shawty know what's up, cause these hands go. Rather be a rich than a free hoe. Type of just can get no dough. Savage get the dough, then I don't show. Play with Ray, that's how I won't go. Leave your RIP shirt left with bullet holes. I got options, any money mo. Butt shot, regurgitated flows. Throwing shots like they free throws. But keep a ghost writer on their payroll. Yes, men in my camp, I don't need those. Savage Beauty 2, it's a sequel. God looking for me through they peephole. What the though? Where your go? Got them chewing on this like tobacco. Keep a shooter with me, and we tryna go. Ho, bucked up, don't want no smoke. I'm the Queen Savage, see the crown. Ho, Savage Beauty 2, this a sequel. Aye, special delivery. Special delivery. Special delivery. Nah, special delivery. I would pretend to be. Special delivery. Special delivery.
One media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Bars on Air.
I'm exclusive. My flow I flow is exclusive. Every beat I bang is exclusive. My sneaker game is exclusive. So exclusive. Born supreme. Shine brighter than Ultra Sheen. Me and my team, we bring it meaner than a Wolverine. New dudes talking about Mad Dough Cream. Thought I wasn't on it. Had a bad dream. I'm experiencing your mad green. You need to slow down, and lay off the caffeine. I'm not finding it funny, you're trying it, sonny. Just came back for a minute for some retirement money. Cause when the world ends, I want the mansion and the pearl bends. Chicks I sleep with, I tell people they're just my girlfriends. Don't trick though, though the trickin' seems to make me stutter. Cause in the desert, she wouldn't get a job, get it butter. For sure, lover, and your pelvic bone level. Oriental chicks be like, no more boom boom, but so butter. I got the world dead to right, that's what I mean to say. Act like I'm more quick than the Green Beret. All Navy SEAL, suggest that you stay for real. F***ing with me, will get you dropped off your own label deal. I'm an Armac, prepared for combat, especially if I'm in contact with cognac. I'm like a lion when he's leaving his den. I done opened some old wounds and I was bleeding again. My man called me from downstate, asked if I got that butter ready. I said it's past that, it's pound cake. He said it sound great, set them clowns straight, and when your album dropping, said you feel me when the ground shake. I energize and hit them with inner vibes. My style will stick out like that black chick on the Enterprise. Honeys with cat eyes and fat thighs, tell you like Mia Angelou. After 3 rounds, still I rise. But my problem with these rap guys, I make them all see the light as if they just got baptized. Don't ask a question like Dinky Flow, might as well shoot yourself in the foot, right in the pinky toe. Cause I'ma hit him in the head. It's the biggest comeback since John Travolta or Lazarus came back from the dead. You rather shower with Anthony Perkins for certain, especially if I got my mojo working. I make the world turn twice. Ask yourself a question now, is he really that nice? No doubt about it. Game, I got it. Aimed and shot it. Ain't been this much excitement, baby, since Sasquatch been spotted. Born in Bronx, Lebanon. Ever since it's second on. Tracks I be reppin' on. String you out like nothing dawn. So stop trying to deny a player. Ask Wonder Woman, Batgirl, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. My style is just immaculate. I just on myself, and it wasn't no accident. I'm exclusive.
Looking for the most balanced review of your forthcoming or current album or mixtape? Then email a formal inquiry along with your cover art, headshot, bio, and either links to your music or the project files to balancingactradioshow@gmail.com. That's balancingactradioshow@gmail.com.
There are so
producer Duds. If you have a top 5 you want us to tackle, then send your topic of suggestion along with your name, city, and social media info to balancingactradioshow@gmail.com or message us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at Bars On Air.
Shit. That's the problem, right? These niggas out here saying this, that, and the third, whatever. These niggas ain't ready. Let me set the door. Wait, hang on.
Hold up. Let me spit a quote for the rookies. Let me take a toe to the cookie. Let me drop a bag on a bookie. Let me take a bath with a nookie. Let me take a swig of the Henny. Let me count the green and envy. Let me watch my 612 lurking. Let me make the drop line chirping. Let me call a plug for the re-up. Face on the gang telling we up. Let me make moves, no faking. Let me text your she been patient. Let me tell Dev, yo, the beat hitting. Let me tell Ray, yo, the beat kicking. Let me tell Ops, good, keep it. Let me not cap up the streets, man. If I ain't ready, then y'all ain't ready. Yeah, you already.
Y'all know.
If I ain't ready, then y'all ain't ready. Yeah, you already.
Let's go.
If I ain't ready, then y'all ain't ready. Yeah, you already.
Y'all know.
If I ain't ready, then y'all ain't ready. Yeah, you already.
Let's go, wait.
Hold up. Let me not speak what I don't know. Let me hit a pose on the photos. Let me not beef on the petty shit. Let me handle with a steady grip. Let me not apologize for being real. Let me walk away, you on a treadmill. Let me network for the network. Let me shoot the fade for the let me shoot my shot, never gon' miss. Let me let you go first so they don't miss. Let me turn the savage to bad. Let me stay humble, now I'm that lit. Let me raise the bar of this rap. Let me say subtle, I'm a savage. Let me not talk like a mad. Let me invest, what's the back down? If I ain't ready, then y'all ain't ready. Yeah, you already.
Y'all know.
If I ain't ready, then y'all ain't ready. Yeah, you already.
Let's go.
If I ain't ready, then y'all ain't ready. Yeah, you already.
Y'all know.
If I ain't ready, then y'all ain't ready. Yeah, you already.
Let's go, wait.
Hold up.
You see, a lot of these dude, they don't even know what the they doing on this shit. The last time you even heard him come through with 3 verses solid, B. Word is going.
Let me switch the flow. Don't need your permission, truth be told. Never needed your approval, this word to go. Know the name, due diligence, caps and bow. Not bad, I'm stalling, but I just got to take it all in. From prayers on my damn fall in. Fuck to beloveds who love it and bet it all in. What it is. Then when I drop, what? I'ma fly, or I'ma knock on every block. But off top, you feel the high. So let me not lead it up to think they right when they got left. My squad fully backs me, I can't accept. I'm running rap like I'm running back. When I snap, but I got it mapped like an almanac to the fact that if I ain't ready, then y'all ain't ready. Yeah, you already.
Y'all know.
If I ain't ready, then y'all ain't ready. Yeah, you already.
Let's go.
If I ain't ready, then y'all ain't ready. Yeah, you already.
Y'all know.
If I ain't ready, then y'all ain't ready. Yeah, you already.
Let's go, wait.
If somebody tell you he hot, man, you know everybody hot now, Slim. He fish grease.
That's how we feel about this track right here. This is the Fish Grease Pick of the Week, only on Bars, on WinDCRadio.com and the WinDC Radio app, powered by GoWin.media.
They say my life doesn't matter. My life doesn't matter. They say my life doesn't matter. But my life matters to me. They say my life doesn't matter. My life doesn't matter. They say my life doesn't matter. But my life matters to me. Deportation, vetted immigration, resegregation, problems affecting nations since the day of its creation. Pipelines designed for climate devastation, blaming those of color for the drugs and the raping. Guns everywhere and nobody's watch where they're aiming. The evidence, what you're saying. Selected administration that makes it quite clear that you surround yourself with folks that identify with your fears. Wouldn't let you in the store if a brother was queer. Wouldn't use the front door if a brother was near. Won't pay a woman as much unless she unbuttons her brassiere. Say All life matters but won't support when the babies are here. How you think we should react when we've been treated unfair? Am I supposed to sit back and accept it? Except not to object it like it was your prime directive? No. Has a stand, God willing and able. How you gonna eat without a seat at the table? Snowflakes and avalanches extend from similar branches. Disenfranchising the masses so we take advantage before the powers that be eat us away like a cancer. Alternative facts and data or merely chitter chatter. How you gonna tell our daughters and our wives don't matter? How you gonna tell us our sons and families don't matter? How dare you try to tell me that my life doesn't matter? Come on. They say my life doesn't matter. My life doesn't matter. They say my life doesn't matter. But my life matters to me. Me. They say my life doesn't matter. My life doesn't matter. They say my life doesn't matter. But my life matters to me.
I've been thinking about converting. Assalamu Obama, I put this on my mama. I've been doomsday prepping, yep, loading up all my weapons. I'm nervous, this here ain't working, just working. My mental state uncertain, and certain persons are purposely pressed with hurting me. Popping Percocets rapidly to numb my pain. Personally searching for answers, frantic, not trying to panic, but manage this crazy antics. Damage my sanity, well-being and family. The devil is a lie. Stay woke and focused. The POTUS is the devil in disguise, fueled by hate. Love will get you killed, fools will say. But lack of love got us in the situation we face. Between the haters, the great debaters, the promise breakers, the do it laters, the bar deflators. Yeah, it's all a mess. We need to rise up. Wise up, count our blessings that the Almighty provides us. I'm feeling righteous, break out your lighters, peaceful protest, no need for violence. I mean, I matter than most, but what matters the most is that we all stand united. At this time, nothing they do or they say should surprise us. Stand for something or fall for anything. Your life does matter.
They say my life doesn't matter. My life doesn't matter. They say my life doesn't matter. But my life matters to me. Me. They say my life doesn't matter. My life doesn't matter. They say my life doesn't matter. But my life matters to me.
They say my life doesn't matter. My life doesn't matter. They say my life doesn't matter. But my life matters to me. Me. They say my life doesn't matter. My life doesn't matter. They say my life doesn't matter. But my life matters to me.
My life matters.
Welcome back to the Balancing Act Radio Show, hosted by AJ Throwback, only on WinDCRadio.com and the WinDC Radio app, powered by GoWin.media.
Yeah. Welcome back. Bars. That was our Fish Grease Pick of the Week, People's Choice Edition. That was My Life Matters by Roan and Night Train 357. Appreciate everybody who supported and made sure they took the top spot on that. Before that, let me go over the list because I kind of did a little bit of improvising. Before that, we had Drew Diligence with Hold Up. Before that, we had The Silent Celeb with Kissing You. Before that, we had Positive K. Yes, that Positive K. I Got a Man Positive K. Brand new song called Exclusive. So shout out to my main man Positive K, and also shout out to MJ for getting us that brand new song. Before that, we had Kiana Ree with Special Delivery, and starting off the set, we had Amani Philly with Only You. Shout out to everybody who is watching on Facebook Live. I seen Miss Jetta check in. Appreciate you for tuning in. Gotta shout out my Win DC Radio sis, Yvette of the Dear Yvette Show, which comes on every Monday, 2 to 4 p.m. right here on WinDCRadio.com, the Win DC Radio app, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and of course it's all powered by GoWin.media. Also, I seen my homegirl Mika share the link, and also my main man Ray from representing the 512 Experience. Hopefully we'll be seeing them have another event sometime soon. I think it is another event coming soon. I gotta get all the information and everything, but it is an event coming soon. While we are waiting for Shamain to arrive, I believe in keeping the ball rolling, so let's go ahead. I think it's a good time that we can go ahead and get into this right here.
It tastes just like it smells. Delicious.
Right before you take that long-awaited break and get your grub on, come and get a hefty helping of life and laughter, courtesy of stories about our beloved Team Bars El Capitan. It's time for luncheon with the missus, only on Bars.
Yes, so I think it's very appropriate. Like thinking about that drop right there. I think it's or intro, I should say. I think it's very important. I mean, appropriate. Get your words together, AJ. I think it's very appropriate that before we go to lunch, or if a lot of y'all go to lunch, we talk about food. And the thing about it, me and my wife, we eat differently. We eat keto. And for those of y'all that don't know what keto is pretty much like high fat, low carb. And it's been working for us in terms of how we operate, losing weight and just functioning better, having more energy, all of these different things. But I won't get too much into that. The bigger point is I won't say always. I've had to kind of sort of come into my own when it's come to baking. And so, for years now, I've been arguably the slightly better baker of the household between the two of us. My wife still makes better cakes than I do. I don't really bake cakes that often, but I feel like once I learn, it might be a competition for the best cake maker in the house. But for now, she definitely still has it. But my chocolate chip cookies are the bomb. Let's not get it twisted. But anyway, so one of the things that I've been perfecting is this keto bread, like homemade bread made with almond flour, baking powder, an egg, butter, and a sprinkle of salt. Really simple, And so, I've been perfecting this. So one of the things that I've been doing is making sure that it doesn't stick to the bottom of the ramekin. And so but little by little, I'm doing other things to kind of sort of size it up, because when it comes out of the oven, it's a very soft consistency. But when you're making stuff like breakfast sandwiches, you kind of want it to be a little bit toastier, so to hold all the food on it better. So I want to say it was Saturday. I made a breakfast sandwich with both of us. I'm trying to think. I think I put ham, cheese, some jelly, but sugar-free jelly. And I feel like it was something else. But what I did was I toasted it in a skillet. Toasted the bread in the skillet after I baked it the night before. Toasted the bread in the skillet with some butter. Man, let me tell you, that joint came out so banging. And my wife comes out of the room after she finishes like, you're doing all the baking from now on in this household when it comes to any baking that needs to get done. I'm not doing it anymore. And I was like, okay, that's fine. But what's funny is I knew she was gonna come out the room and say that, because it's like once I tasted the bread, I was like, oh my gosh, this is just heavenly. You know what I mean? But it's not filled with the nonsense that regular or conventional bread is. So it was the same thing. I think it was either Sunday night or Monday morning or Monday night, one or two. So I made this homemade keto granola, and the smell just goes throughout the house. And she's just like, oh my gosh, that smells so good. So she comes in there and And she says, and she tastes it. And she's like, yeah, you definitely doing all the baking from now on. And I'm like, okay, that's fine with me. And she's like, just be prepared. I'm like, okay. So she does more of the cooking, I do more of the baking. But I think one of the things that she was saying was, with cooking, it's a lot more feeling, a lot more kind of eyeballing things versus like the preciseness of baking. And I think that's why baking is a lot more of my alley, because I'm more mathematical with things. And so because things, with hold on, let me set up something. Because things with baking involve more precise measurements, and I'm somebody who's like all about precision with whatever I do, it just really makes sense that baking would come naturally to me, or come a little bit more naturally to me. And that's not to say that my wife can't bake, because my wife can bake. Like I said, the cakes, she makes bomb cakes, And even when she made keto bread, it was good, but it's, I keep working on a recipe until it's the way that I like it. And, clearly it's the way that she likes it too. So, I'm going to be making all the breakfast sandwiches and all the granola and the cookies and probably eventually the cakes too. So, yeah, I'm sure that made a lot of y'all hungry out there. So I'm if you need to go get a snack or something, handle your business. So we are still waiting for Shamain to arrive. So I'm just trying to kill a little bit of time. But speaking of the business, we actually, and this is actually funny now. It wasn't funny when it happened. And I don't want to get into the details of it because, I've talked to enough people about it, but I didn't want to really publicize it. But, the first 2 days of our son's first week of school went without a hitch. No problems, no issues. So then we get to day number 3. And I go to pick him up, had to change his, he goes to school with one pair of clothes on, comes home with a different pair of sweatpants. And so, so he comes with a different pair of sweatpants, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? So, he's trying to duck and dodge around it. Like, oh, can you just play the music? I'm like, really, dude? Like, I'm trying to get to the bottom of what's going on, and you talking about music. He's like, can you just play the music? I'm like, all right, but you still gonna tell me what's going on. So, we have a conversation. He tells me pretty much, I think y'all can pretty much guess if he's got a different change of pants. He's 5 years old in his first week of kindergarten. Y'all can guess what happened. But we get home and he tells my wife something totally different, which almost got his teacher in trouble. And let's just say the Chester, Pennsylvania was about to come out of my wife. And if anybody knows about Chester, Pennsylvania, anybody who might be from Philly or the Philly area, Nico, you know about that? And you know what's funny about you saying that, Nico? My wife was just saying how Chester is actually the home of the hoagie. That's where the hoagie originated, Chester, Pennsylvania. Don't be fooled. It's not Philly. It's Chester, Pennsylvania, y'all. And that's, man, let me tell you, it is so many spots in Chester that got bombed. Same here. Yeah. They do. They really do. That's right. That's an art, and they got it mastered. Yes, indeed. But Chester, Pennsylvania is hood. You know what I'm saying? In fact, they had. Let me tell y'all how hood Chester, Pennsylvania is before I get into what my wife did. So, Chester, Pennsylvania was in a state of emergency. I want to say it may have been 2010 because the murder rate was so serious. And so, yeah, she pretty much went up to the school, about to confront, see what's going on. Got a little attitude when she got up there. Came back in the house even more hot than when she left out the house, and was pretty much like, call my dad and tell him to get my bail money ready. That's how serious the situation was. You know what I'm saying? So all of that came out of her. But I mean, eventually, situation worked itself out. Contacted the teacher. Teacher, responded back. Went up to the school, talked to the assistant principal, and everything, was cool and calm and collected. But let me tell you, the moral of the story is, don't get my wife upset. Don't get upset, especially when it comes to her baby. She becomes mama bear like a mug when it comes to her baby. And I feel it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, as I say from time to time, mothers love their sons, train their daughters. Fathers love their daughters, train their sons. So it's a different kind of relationship. Like I was upset, but I was being a little bit more diplomatic about things and trying to wait and see what the response was going to be. Whereas the missus, she's like, look, she gonna have to she might get the paws put on her. You know what I mean? Don't play with her baby. All the stuff that she done been through with that boy, getting him here, and what she had to do to just stay here. Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't get your feelings hurt. Don't get your face hurt. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's lunching with the missus for today. Let me play some music real quick, cause let's get into some music real quick. We're still waiting for our special guest. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna play one of her songs, not the main song that she's promoting right now, but one of my favorite songs by her. And this is, of course, Shamain, and this is Tonight on the official Hump Day Motivation for the DMV and beyond. This is Bars.
Time is running out. We don't have too long now. You and I are not supposed to be here, baby. But my heart is open wide, and so is my body. And I think that we should take advantage of this moment. Maybe I'm a fiend for it. I just gotta have you. You know you're my bad habit, and I know that I'm yours too. I don't wanna walk away. I'm standing here right in front of you, and I don't know what to say. So I guess I gotta show you I'm gonna love you everywhere that you want me to touch you. I'll make it my mission just to please you. I'm coming with you, baby, I won't leave you. And tonight you're gonna love me. Wrap my legs around your head and touch me. Go deep as you can, baby, please me. Promise me that you ain't gonna leave me, boy. Our time here is almost over, and we're just getting started. There's so much more that I have yet to explore on you, boy. But I can't stop now. Might as well go all the way. Let's just say f it and go for it. Yeah, what's the point of doing it halfway? Maybe I'm a fiend for it. Maybe I'm a fiend. I just gotta have you. I just gotta have you. You know you're my bad habit. And I know that I'm yours too. I don't wanna
platform. Send us clean versions of your music to balancingactradioshow@gmail.com. That's balancingactradioshow@gmail.com.
I feel like I'm lucid dreaming in a white room, 3 walls and no ceilings. I think it's too soon to be catching these feelings. Running from you is like running to the dark side. Left, right, let me pick a thought to be a moth in the black light. Uncut rocks in the dark, give the best light. Put your hands up in the sky. I can feel the moonlight. Piece by piece, put a picture in the light bright. Never be afraid, embrace the dark. Let's vibe in the neon, let's scream to the eons. 2 fingers in the sky, shout out to the Cleons. Never ask questions, baby girl, we on. Purple rain swimming, reality gripping, reality slipping. 10% focus, reality tipping. We are.
Breathing you in my sea. This is where I wanna be. Pressure on my chest. The moonlight in your eyes. Levels of tranquility. Release me. Free my body as I dream.
Listen to the lights screaming like neon sprites in a fight. Can you believe it? The best type of moments in life are when you're dreaming. Sit down and clear your mind. Thoughts and crowds. Search deep down in the lost and found. Reality hits you when you touch the ground. You wanna take a chance? Proceed to mount. Pray to the gods that our souls are found. Lucy, love, I see your smile. I know you're amazed. Vibrant chaser. Everyone knows to never wake up. Our love so strong. With you, I thought we could be friends and live forever. Keeping me grounded, ending up together. Understand and fall to the ground. Place your trust and never look down.
Breathing you in my sea. This is where I wanna be. Pressure on my chest. The moonlight in your eyes. Levels of tranquility. Release me. Free my body as I dream. Breathing you in my sea. This is where I wanna be. Pressure on my chest. The moonlight in your eyes. Levels of tranquility. Release me. Free my body as I dream.
You hear this spot right here? This could be your spot where you pull your new customer. If you're a nascent or established business or entrepreneur and you believe you have the right product for our audience, then advertise with Bars. For more details on our rates, packages, and deals for first-time clients, email balancingactradioshow@gmail.com. That's balancingactradioshow@gmail.com.
Shanti McCoy.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Juicy.
Hey.
Feature presentation.
Hey. Okay, she freaky and she paid. Yeah. She freaky and she paid. Yeah, she freaky and she paid. Man, I got it made. Hey. She all about $1 and I hope she never changed. They don't wanna come around her, all these be getting saved. Cause she freaky and she paid. Freaky and she paid. She freaky and she paid. Man, I got it made. She all about $1 and I hope she never changed. They don't wanna come around her, all these be getting saved.
I'm a boss lady, was a fake hitter to a real chick. I got long hair like Got a bad chick, tell her come through, tell her bring a friend. Bro, I'm on your man's man, making ends meet. He hand me 100,000, your pocket's empty. Funny, I'm about my money. You chicks is zombies. He touch me, kiss and hug me. I think he loves me. That's real hit, real hit. Flying on the grand bacon. I ain't looking at you, I'm looking at your chick, and she looking at me when she licking lips. Her booty fat, I know you like it round. Freaky and I'm paid, I wear the crown. Throw it on you from the pictures, man. Yeah, you got it juicy, baby. Tear it down.
She freaky, yeah, she paid. Freaky, yeah, she paid. Yeah, she freaky, yeah, she paid. Man, I got it made. She all about a dollar, and I hope she never change. They don't wanna go around her, all these be getting slayed. Cause she freaky, yeah, she paid. Freaky, yeah, she paid. She freaky, yeah, she paid. Man, I got it made. She all about a dollar, and I hope she never change. They don't wanna go around her, all these be getting slayed. Okay, she freaky, diggy, and that pussy squeaky, lead that pussy leaky. For that breath, she creeping, yeah, that hit was decent in the backseat. Who gotta have a Lisa G? Before she think about speaking to me. Put that hoe legs up and beat that pussy up to the beat. All these hoes on the bus for me. You lucky just to be fucking with me. I ain't tryna make it fall in love with the dick, but I better make it blood OC. I ain't tryna make it had no kids, so you know I gotta keep a glove on the dick. I done put the pussy in the coma, I done wake up in the morning, still wanna when he sleep. That's real nigga, rich nigga, broke nigga wanna fuck a rich nigga. Don't hate, just get with this. Broke bitch can't do rich bitch. I feel like I'm ignorant, her know what the business is. They work out the differences, then they kiss and they split the dough. Okay, she freaky, yeah, she paid. She freaky, yeah, she paid. Yeah, she freaky, yeah, she paid. Man, I got it made. She all about a dollar, and I hope she never change. They don't wanna come around her, all these be getting slayed. Cause she freaky, yeah, she paid. Freaky, yeah, she paid. She freaky, yeah, she paid. Man, I got it made. She all about a dollar, and I hope she never change. They don't wanna come around her, all these be getting slayed.
Know a little freak in Hollywood. Know a little freak in Hollywood. Know a little freak in Hollywood. Does it real good. Know a little freak in Hollywood. Know a little freak in Hollywood. Know a little freak in Hollywood. Sus OD. Does it real good.
He say he don't want me, but he know that he need me. Bet you ain't know my cookie wetter than Fiji. If you need that work, I'll be there when you need me. My chick bad from Barbados and she looking like Riri.
Welcome back to the Balancing Act Radio Show, hosted by AJ Throwback, only on WinDCRadio.com and the WinDC Radio app, powered by GoWin.media.
Yeah. That was Shanti McCoy featuring none other than Juicy J with Slay. Before that, we had XXI Gold. I think that's how you... He told me before how it's styled or whatever, but that was Diamonds. And starting off the set, we had our special guest with Tonight, none other than the lovely Shamain. Yes. I mean, you know, my favorite song of yours from your catalog. You. Absolutely. So I got
hear the new stuff.
Yes, absolutely. So let's go ahead and introduce you properly, bar style. Once again, we have our special guest of the day, our first special guest, Shamain.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Yes, y'all might actually recognize her voice from WinDC in the commercials. Yes.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So welcome to Bars.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely. I know we got to kind of sort of get right to it. You know, I definitely wish we had more time, but you know, we'll try to get you in again sometime soon. You know what I'm saying? So let's get right to it. So you got this new EP coming out.
I do.
Do your worst. Before we get to the EP part, I wanted to say something about the teasers that you have, the video teasers that you have.
All right, let me hear it.
So it's funny because it's like appearances, can make you think one thing about a person. You know what I'm saying? So like the fact that you like showed that much range, because it's like, you know, you in the one video with the hammer, with the knife. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, okay,
hectic.
okay, all right, we have a little Fatal Attraction joint here. But you know, I thought it was interesting because I think it's a very good way to kind of sort of tee up the song itself. So you know, the song itself, "Do Your Worst," which is a really dope song, really dope. Let me say this, and it's the same thing with Tonight. Like, you have a knack for making music that really sticks with people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Cause but with just like Tonight, when I first heard Tonight, that was in my head for like weeks. And the same thing with Do Your Worst. Like, it's been in my head the entire week before this.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So you onto something. You definitely onto something.
I'm trying.
But I wanted you to, you know, be able to talk about the single as well as the EP and what people can expect from the EP. So let's start off with the single itself.
Yes. So the single, it was released on Friday, this past Friday. Yeah. And the song is called "Do Your Worst," and it basically talks about, you know, being in a relationship with someone, and you know that they're like no good for you,
right.
but it's just something about them that you can't like let go of. So it's like you'd rather have them at their, you know, at the worst than not have them at all. So do your worst. And that's gonna be the lead single off of my EP, which will be out on the 27th of this month.
Okay.
So it's be out soon.
Okay. That's
and I'm so excited for it.
Right. Cool. All right. So what can people expect from the rest of the album itself, or the rest of the EP?
Well, the rest of that EP is, you know, like a similar vibe, like that new R&B sound.
Yeah.
You know, like Summer Walker, if I have to name someone. Her, you know, that new school R&B.
Yeah.
So that's the lane that I'm going with now. I know back then I had a few different like lanes that I was in at the same time, so it was kind of like all over the place. But this time I think that I have it down.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens.
So September 27th, that's when people can expect. Okay. All right. Day before my birthday. All right.
Oh, that's what's up.
Cool. So another thing that I wanted to kind of talk to you about was the fact that you are very versatile. Like, not only are you a vocalist, but you're also a songwriter and a violinist. Yeah. So talk about how did you get into playing the violin?
Well, actually, I started off with the violin.
Okay.
As far as music,
okay.
I started playing that when I was 5.
Okay.
And I played it all the way until my senior year of high school.
Okay.
And then I really, you know, I think I took like a year and a half off to try college.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't for me.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You know, not knocking anybody who goes to college, because if that's your passion, then absolutely do it. But it just wasn't for me.
Right.
So after that little experiment, I just kind of wanted to singing.
Okay.
You know, that's when I started to pursue my music vocally.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I kind of incorporated my violin with it. So.
Gotcha.
You know.
Yeah. Well, that's
my little story.
Yeah, I had a feeling that, because I was thinking, like, you know, which came first, the chicken or the egg, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I got a feeling it's the violin, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, music has always been in my life because, you know, my father was a musician. Both of my parents love music.
Yeah.
My whole family loves music, so it's always been around me.
Right.
So I've always had that influence.
Mm-hmm.
So there was like no way that I wasn't going to do something in music.
Right. Yeah.
It's only right.
Yeah. That's dope. I mean, now this is another question. Can people expect to hear some of that violin work on the album, or is it?
Not on the album, but I will incorporate her in like my live shows and stuff like that. So
Okay.
Maybe the next album I'll put her on there. So.
Okay. Her. Does she have a name?
No, I just call her.
You just call her her?
I just refer to my violin as her.
Oh, okay. Kind of like, you know, people refer their cars Betsy, you know.
Yeah, sort of like that. Yeah.
That's cool. So, let everybody know where they can connect with you on social media, and where they can find your previous catalog as well, and where they can expect to find the EP Do Your Worst.
Yes. Well, you guys can keep up with me and my journey on all social media sites, Shamain Music. That's SHAMAIN Music on all social media platforms. It's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever else. Those are like the main ones that I use. But my EP and my other music, they're all on Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, Tidal. It's just everywhere.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be that hard to find me.
Okay. All right.
And yeah, the EP isn't out yet, but yeah, it'll be on there too.
Okay.
On the 27th.
All right, September 27th. Y'all heard it first, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you for coming on. I know, it's really like a whip around, but like I said, we got to get you back on for a lengthier interview, and everything.
Absolutely.
So,
thank you so much for having me. I appreciate this.
Absolutely. So I want to let you introduce your brand new single to the people.
Right. You guys are currently listening to Do Your Worst by Shamain.
Yes. On the official Hump Day Motivation for the DMV and beyond. This is Bars.
More topics, more segments, more music means more bars after this.
When DC Radio brings to you the app. Yes, the app is now available on your Google Play and your App Store, on your iPhone or your Android, any of your pads that you might be using, be it if it's an iPad Mini, or if you have a Samsung Note, doesn't matter what you have, any mobile device, you can get the app so you can listen where you're at to Win DC Radio.
I don't really need a D, I need the all I back need is a KC.
Hey, this is China Pink from the 2018 award-winning Best Radio Talk Show of the Year. Make sure you tune into the Ladies of the China Pink Talk Show each and every Sunday on Win DC Radio from 5 to 7. Make sure you check us out on Facebook Live and YouTube Live
you didn't go too far. It's time for the second hour of the Balancing Act Radio Show, hosted by AJ Throwback, only on WinDCRadio.com and the WinDC Radio app, powered by GoWin.media.
And I'm Andrea Riley, and we are your hosts for Girls Gabbing Radio Show. Tune in to Girls Gabbing Radio Show every Sunday from 7 to 8 p.m. on WinDC, powered by GoWin Media. Girls Gabbing wants to provide a platform for dreams, visions, and stories to thrive and grow. What's the gab? Tune in on Sundays to find out.
We hope you didn't go too far. It's time for the second hour of the Balancing Act Radio Show, hosted by AJ Throwback, only on WinDCRadio.com and the WinDC Radio app, powered by GoWin.media. Thanks. Check. I think I'm up now. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hour number 2 of Bars. And my second guest is calling in, y'all. Is this Venomiss?
Hey.
Good morning. Well, good afternoon now. How are you?
Good kind of afternoon.
How are you?
I'm good.
That's good. Thank you for calling in. And I know we wanted to get you live and in person and everything, but I guess this is the best that we can do until we can get you in. So
right.
Yes.
There'll be other times because I come to DC sometimes, so we'll definitely work it out.
Right. Because you got family in the area, right?
Yes, I'm from Jersey originally. I got uncles in D.C. My best friend lives in D.C.
Okay.
So, I come up sometimes and I'll be like, hey, I need some food. That's the first thing I do when I get to D.C. is go find my favorite restaurants. There's a soul food spot I like.
Okay,
that's the first thing I do. I don't remember the name of it, but it's near my uncle's house. So every time I come up, that's the first thing I do.
Okay. So where in D.C. does your uncle live?
He's so he is closer to the White House side.
Okay.
I can't think of the name of it, but it's an all-you-can-eat spot, and their food is rocking. And it's a little old lady in the kitchen, and I'm like, you know what? This is the spot.
I need to hit that spot up for real.
Yeah, I'm asking the name.
You put me on to some stuff, and I'm from here.
Right.
Oh man. Yeah. So I wanted to start off our interview by asking you about talking about your beginnings. So I want you to describe for our listeners what 8-year-old Venomiss, because I ain't gonna call you by your government name, you know what I'm saying? So.
Even though Facebook makes me, but anyway.
Right, exactly. Same here. But
thanks a lot, Facebook.
Because what's funny is when I seen what your name was, I was like, okay, same person. All right.
Right.
But I want you to describe for our listeners what 8-year-old Venomiss saw with like your older cousins when they were pursuing their record deal, as well as any other factors that made you want to get into rapping.
Okay, so 8-year-old Venomiss was living in New Jersey around the time towards the end of the Naughty by Nature phase and the Queen Latifah phases. Like Queen Latifah was getting into movies and stuff like that.
Right.
So I was towards the end of that when I decided that I really loved hip hop. My cousins were taking me to all these video shoots and all these shows. So I have 3 older cousins. Damien, he goes by the stage name of Dirty Roo. He was in a male group. It was 3 of them.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of the group, but he was in a group. They had a really low budget deal, like the no frills, like you still got to get on the public transportation type of deal. And he won it in a contest, and it was really not a great deal, but it was just the fact that he was doing music full time.
Right.
His sister wound up in like a female Wu-Tang type of group.
Okay.
And it was really dope. But the thing was, nobody knew how to market them. They were like, I don't know what to do with this. So they wound up breaking up. And then his older sister was in a Salt and Pepper type of group.
Okay.
And she actually competed against Queen Latifah in some competitions.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so I watched all of them write their rhymes and, do their shows, and they would sneak me in the shows and stuff, and it just was so surreal. Like, I'm like, oh man, like I could have a smoke machine too. Like, this is great. Like, what? He just came out the smoke and there's laser lights and stuff. This is like, man, as an 8-year-old kid, this is like, you couldn't have told me my cousin wasn't a superhero. I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. I'm gonna be a rapper.
Yeah.
So
that's a great illustration.
There was no option B for me. Rappers were superheroes. I was like, yo, he's on a rope flying from the ceiling and stuff, and they shoot music videos, and man, churches walking down the street shooting videos and stuff.
Yeah.
It was the best thing. You got to think about, you have Redman out of Jersey, Queen Latifah, you have the Lords of the Underground, Artifact, Naughty by Nature. There were so many people coming out of Jersey all around the same time. Like, you couldn't help but love hip hop.
Right, yeah. Jersey.
So that was where it started for me.
Yeah, Jersey has long been rich with talent. Whether you're talking hip hop, whether you're talking soul. Like, I mean, a lot of talented people have come from Jersey. So that's
on the low too. A lot of people are from Jersey that you wouldn't even know are from Jersey. Like,
right.
There's a lot of people, just a lot of talent in Jersey, a lot of creativity. But we have a lot of inspiration. Like, there's just so much. We're not really in New York, but we're close enough to appreciate New York.
Right.
And then we have our own culture, and we have our own upbringings and struggles and things like that, and it's just, I don't know, it just fuels you,
Yeah. Like I've always, my aunt, she lives in South Jersey. For years she lived in Willingboro, but now she lives in, I think it's Lumberton. That's technically the town where she lives. But like, I've always had love for Jersey, like, and I mean, especially just going there for whatever reason. I always felt like Jersey felt like a vacation to me, and so, a lot of people probably wouldn't say that, but like I would, like anytime I went to my aunt's house, it was like, man, I love Jersey, so like, I know a lot of people from there. In fact, one of my close friends, he's from Newark, so he was raised in Newark, so like,
and you can't go anywhere without meeting somebody from Jersey. Let me just say that. I was all the way in New Orleans, and I do a part of my song where like, it's Jersey, chick, and everybody lose their mind. About 10 people come up to me like, yo, I'm from Jersey. I'm from Detroit. I'm like, what are y'all doing here? Like, I promise you, there's not a place that I have done that song where somebody in the building wasn't from Jersey.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
And I've done it from New Hampshire all the way down to New Orleans, and I have yet to do it where nobody is from New Jersey, and somebody's always from New Jersey.
Always. Y'all roll deep.
Yes.
But that's a good thing. That's good. Y'all rep no matter where y'all at,
Yep.
So one of the ways that I wanted to do your interview a little bit differently, because like, you have a lot of bar heavy lyrics, what I'm saying, bar heavy songs where like you can literally do an interview off of one of your songs, and I felt like I felt like I could do that. And it's with, if I'm talking about like in terms of relatability, in terms of subject matter, and it wasn't really even a rap, but it was like what you were talking about, and it's the intro to Eris of the Echelon.
Yes.
I absolutely love that song because it's so much that I feel like anybody can pull from that and feel like, dang, I've gone through that or I've experienced that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so the way that I want to kind of sort of go through this is like pull out a couple of lyrics and like go piece by piece in terms of like what you say. Yeah, look, you on bars, so we gonna break down some bars.
Let's go.
Yes, indeed. So in one part, you said, so one day I asked, does my mic sound nice? And someone way in the back said, yeah, but be more like KRS when you write. So that part, what does that mean? You know what I mean? Like, be more like KRS. Like,
so the premise of that line is, you know, no matter how you write and no matter what you do, somebody's gonna tell you who you should be like. Because the next part of that bar is, you know, they start telling me other people I should be like. Like, look more like Kim. You know, Little Kim. Look more like Lil Kim, but write like KRS-One, but look more like Lil Kim. And it's like, that whole premise for that line is about how confusing the message can be when you're young and you're starting out in hip-hop and you've got people, I mean, like, literally you meet people who can put you on, but they're like, oh, well, you need to lose 30 pounds. And the next person tells you don't need to lose 30 pounds. Then you meet somebody else who tells you, oh, you need to write more like this person. You meet somebody else who's like, oh, no, don't sound like that person, sound like this person. And it was more, that bar in itself was more about me identifying who I was as an artist, where I needed to be as an artist, and tuning out what other people were thinking I should be.
Right.
And the ironic thing is, KRS-One, I opened for KRS-One twice in 2016 because of this album. I met them at the airport and I gave it to him and his wife.
Okay.
And when they made it back to New York, they called me and was like, hey, we want you to open for him. So I actually opened for him in 2 cities. And his favorite joint on the album, his wife and him, was the intro. They loved the intro. I mean, they liked everything else, but they loved the way I put things together in that intro.
Yeah.
So, you know, but that whole line is about always making sure I keep my lyricism first. Like, no matter what somebody tells me, I want to make sure I keep my lyricism first. So that was like a check to myself to make sure that I kept the lyricism first.
Yeah. And I mean, clearly, from there, that really sets the tone for your career. You know what I mean? 'Cause I mean, from that album, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but like from Eris of the Echelon to All Eyes on V to No Favors, No. I always get the order confused. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like those albums, like, it's just bars, you know, and you definitely stay true to your lyricism all the way through your career. And I think anybody who's a supporter or fan of your work, they definitely appreciate the fact that you stay true to yourself and you stay true to your integrity, you know.
And it's not always an easy feat, don't get me wrong, because there's, you know, plenty of opportunities come up where it's like, if I would do just a tiny bit in their direction, I would get crazy opportunities. But for me, staying true to myself is really important, like staying true to who I am as an artist. I've always been told I'm a great lyricist and that the lyricism is there, and I've always wanted to keep that. I don't care. I'm not going to be out here selling my soul for, you know, I just want to make sure that the lyricism is always the first and foremost. Like in today's market, it's a lot about the gimmick, and I'm not really for the gimmick. I'm for the music.
Right. And the thing is, like, you know, with a lot of your music, even with the songs where it's like a little bit more of a like radio friendly song, even then you still bring bars, and that's what I'm about. If you're gonna do something that's for the radio, if you think about a lot of the songs that came out back in the day, they still had bars. It's just you know, it was something that could be played on the radio a little bit easier. You know, it wasn't, you know, a quote unquote album track, you know. So that's what I definitely appreciate about, you know, your lyricism and your skill level. You know what I'm saying? So,
thank you.
Absolutely. So you alluded.
I appreciate that people get it. You know what I mean? Like, I appreciate people understand where I'm going with it, and I appreciate people who, you know, I always say not everybody is meant to be fans of everybody, but you will find your fans, and I really appreciate people who understand why I do what I do and why I stay true to the lyricism. Like, To me, it's a dying art, you know?
It really is. It really is. So when people actually stay true to that, you got to appreciate it, you know?
Yeah.
So you alluded to it. The next line after that, where you said, then someone in the front said, bring it to him hard like MC Light, but while you're at it, lose 30 pounds and look like Kim. So how I wanted to break that bar down is actually through the lens of another layer to what you do. Some people may know about it. You model as well.
Yes.
And so
yes, I'm a curve model. Yes. I'm a plus size model, and that came from me just basically it's my big middle finger to all the people who told me to lose weight to be successful. So I was like, okay, anyway, here's what I'm going to do.
Right.
Like that was my middle finger to them, because at the end of the day, you have artists like Lizzo is getting ahead, and I just want to be clear. The biggest, most recognizable fashion industry icon of the world, Marilyn Monroe, was considered plus size.
Right.
She was a size 12. She was 160 pounds. She was considered plus size at the time. All the other models were 2s and 0s.
Right.
So that being said, me choosing to model was me giving them a big old middle finger. Like, I don't care what you say. First of all, curves are in. People want women to be voluptuous. They don't want us to look like... You got women out here putting booties in their body.
Right.
to have what women like me have naturally. So it was more of me trying to incorporate the brains, beauties, and bars, which is my slogan.
Right.
And I just wanted to make sure that, that I was confident in myself, too. So I started hashtag Thick and Winning. So I started Model Wednesdays, Thick and Winning hashtag, and I would just post photos of my model. I would do a photo shoot every week, and I would drop photos every week. And I did that for 2 years straight, of just dropping photos every Wednesday, every Saturday photo shoot, every Wednesday photos.
That's dope.
And and it was more of a nod towards the curvy women, because I felt like, you shouldn't have to lose 30 pounds to be a successful female rapper. I shouldn't have to look like a stripper for people to listen to me.
Right.
And the thing is, and I'm not saying there's a lane for that, but it's not my lane.
Right. Right.
And that's the thing. Like, there's a lane for that, and there are people who are comfortable with that, and more power to you, because, the thing about me, I'm not going to knock the next person. More power to you, sis. That's what you do. But at the same time, that doesn't mean I can't do what I do.
Right. Exactly.
So it just kind of became a thing for me to stay, just true to myself again, and just keep it 100, because I'll be honest with you, I sat down with a label, and I'm not going to say which label, but I sat down with a major label, and the first thing out of their mouth was, would I remove ribs and would I get breast implants? And I'm like,
hold on.
No and no.
Hold on. They asked you, would you remove ribs?
Would I have 2 ribs removed to give myself an illusion of a smaller waist? I had a label executive ask me that.
What?
Yes, this is what they're selling to the young girls who are trying to get in the industry, and that's why everybody kind of looks the same.
Right. That
because this was a conversation, about what I need to do to get my brand to, the point where they would pick me up. And after that conversation, I was like, man, listen, I don't care what they got to say to me. I'm doing me.
Right.
Because to me it was like disheartening. Like, is that all women are worth? Is what size their waist is? Like, you didn't hear anything that any of these women is saying. You just care. And then at that moment, it made sense to me why more lyrical females are not getting ahead.
Right.
If they don't fit X, Y, and Z criteria. So, for me, it was just my big middle finger to them. Like, hey, guess what? I'm going to be successful without doing what you're asking me to do. So that's where that came from. And, and that's something that people have told me over the years, I not that per se, but, about the image and make sure you look like this. And, you got to figure, I was 17 doing shows. And at 17, you're young and impressionable. And I was at 17, I was like 120 pounds, and people were like, "Oh yeah, you got to make sure you do this and do that." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm not doing all that."
Right.
You know, so that being said, you know, that's what that line is about. Just stay true to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let people make you body shame you or make you feel like you're not pretty enough or you're not smart enough, or just forget all that. Just work.
Yeah. And I think that's very important, because far too long in this country, you know, in society at large, like there have been certain beauty, quote unquote, standards that have been put out there, you know, whether you're talking about size, whether you're talking about complexion, no matter what you're talking about, like it's all of these different things that the industry, the music industry, the entertainment industry, and just media altogether, they'll try to tell us this is what you should look like. And I really appreciate the fact that you are an artist, like, you know, between being an artist and being a model as well, that's saying, nah, not all of us look like that. You know what I'm saying? Like there are varying shapes and sizes and skin complexions and all different types of vibes that people bring that are beautiful, you know. So
and the reality of it is this: in this country right now, 70% of the women in this country are size 12 and higher.
Mm-hmm.
In the modeling and the fashion world, that is considered plus size. So why are all of our models size 4 and size 5?
Right.
If 70%, 80%, whatever, somewhere between 70 and 80%, if over half of the country is size 12 and up, why are we pushing the image of size 5?
Right. Exactly.
So that being said, you know, and I'm not saying, you know, don't be healthy, don't take care of yourself, because I still exercise, I still walk, and, you know, I don't eat whatever. I eat a lot of fish and chicken and stuff like that. But this is my genetics. My family is Amazons. Like, if you meet my grandmother is 6'3" and she looks like Medea because she's big. Like, it's just, you know, it's genetics. So, like, that's the thing is, like, don't kill yourself over your genetics. You know, people have different genetic makeup. So that being said, embrace your genetic makeup and be your healthiest version of that genetic makeup that you can be.
There you go.
That's just the bottom line. You got people getting parts of their stomach removed because they think that, you know, whatever their genetic makeup isn't good enough, and I'm not with that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Totally with you on that. So another line I wanted to highlight was where you said, did I mention the stress of navigating through unwanted advances in attention?
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm sure, you know, being a woman in the industry and an attractive woman in the industry, you get a lot of that. So
you get a lot of it, and you get a lot of, if you don't do this, you're not going to make it. When I was 17, you know, I have people telling me, like, well, what do you think Lil' Kim and this person did and that person did? You're never going to be anything if you don't do these things. These are grown men, and I'm 17.
Wow.
These are grown men, 29, 30, 35, 26, you know, telling me, and they're in positions to put me on, and they're in positions to get me ahead. Like, these are legitimate people that I've met over the years, and they're telling me basically, you know, these are the things you need to do to me or to people in my circle to get ahead. And I'm like, you know, at 17, 18, I stopped doing music because I was so frustrated with it.
Yeah.
Like, it was so frustrating. Every time you go to the studio, somebody's trying to holler at you, or every time you know, and what I appreciated the most about this album, Heirs to the Echelon, was I found my people. Meaning, the people that were around me when I recorded that album, I didn't have any of that going on.
Yeah.
Like, they were all professional. We were all good friends. We took care of each other. We all sat down, ate pizza, and, you know, studio sessions would turn into hours because we would get sidetracked and play Xbox. Like, it was a vibe, you know, and in my teenage years, I didn't have that because number one, I didn't have a manager. I was trying to figure everything out myself.
Right.
And number two, like, there was just so much griminess. And in a female standpoint, it just always is. Like, even to this day, like, there's times where people ask me to do a show, and then they start trying to turn creepy on me, and I'm like, yeah, no, never mind.
Right, yeah.
Not doing the show. And I've learned that anything that's meant for me is going to come to me. So, you know, I've learned that, you know, people respect you more when you say no.
Yeah. That's very true.
People respect you more when you say no. I say no to lots of stuff just because I don't trust people's intentions or because somebody's giving me the wrong vibe. I say no to lots of stuff because sometimes it either A, comes back around the right way, or B, it something better comes around. So it's just it's gotten out of control. But in the same regard, too, I'm not going to put it all on the men because sometimes there are women out here who know they can use their bodies to get ahead, too.
Right. Yeah. And
so it goes both ways. So I don't put it all on the fellas because for any one fella that's trying it means there was a woman who let it go.
Right. That's true. That's true. You know what I'm saying?
So I put it on everybody. Like, we got to do better than that.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the fact that that's a part of the culture, like, entertainment industry, period. I'm not even going to say hip-hop, but just the entertainment industry, period. But specifically hip-hop, because hip-hop has long been a very misogynistic culture. You know what I'm saying? And how they treat women a lot of times. So, like, I'm one of them type of people, like, like for me as a man, like, first and foremost, I'm married. So it's like, I ain't trying to holler at nobody anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's number one. Number two, even if I weren't, my thing is, like, I'm respecting people as peers. Like, I'm not looking at you trying to holler at you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm looking at you like, I respect your craft. I respect you because you respect your craft. And it's like, all right, let's work. You know what I'm saying? Let's build. Let's network. That's what it should be. You know what I mean? Yeah. So. Yeah. But unfortunately,
it's a catch-22. Sometimes you get the ones who just want to network, and then sometimes you don't know until you really get into the meat and potatoes of it. And it is what it is. Like, human nature is to be attracted to somebody else. So I don't knock it. It happens sometimes. But you also have to know how to keep your composure and contain yourself when you're in a business situation.
Right.
And so, a lot of that bar was just, when I wrote this intro, I didn't even think I was going to put on the album. That was I was just getting some stress off my chest, and I wrote it, and it was the last thing we recorded for the album, and I was like, I don't think it's gonna work. Salute was originally the intro, which is the first song on the album,
right?
And I was like, no, I'm gonna try it. And I had just sat down and wrote like all my frustration out, and I laid it in 2 takes, and when I heard it back, and he put the effects on it and stuff, and I was like, man, that has to stay on there. Like,
I'm glad you decided to put it on the album because Salute was a good starter after the intro. But having that intro there, it not only, like I said, it not only sets the tone for the album, but it sets the tone for your career. It lets people know, like, this is who I am, this is what I've dealt with, and this is how I'm going to operate from here on out. Deal with it, or you don't have to. Either way, but I'm gonna do me. So
deal with it or kick rock.
There it is.
Right.
Yeah. So, and I feel like I don't have to mention this line, but I just like these lines because it spoke to me, and I'm sure anybody who has listened to it spoke to them as well. But where you say, be yourself, but not too much. Matter of fact, don't be yourself at all. Lose your personality, slow down your thinking. Also, you got to hit them hard in battle. Suddenly, I felt like my voice was shrinking. Like, like with all of the noise, and sometimes it's hard to tune out the noise and find your own voice because as an artist, I've gone through that as well. I've gone through that point of like, oh, I can't be me. Oh, I got to be more like this person over here, that person over there. And it gets to a point where you say, nah, I'm going to be me. I feel like me is a lot easier to be than trying to be somebody else because I have to sit there and think, how would such and such do it versus just looking within myself and saying, this is how I would do it and move from there. It's a lot easier. So, I feel like anybody who listens to that can really just pull a lot from that because especially in hip hop and music and entertainment period, because you always have somebody telling you, you have to be this, you have to be that in order to be successful. When it really comes down to it, you define your own success, you define your own terms, And so I felt like
I'm gonna say this one thing. As a woman, when you voice yourself, when somebody is impressing those thoughts on you, you're a diva. So,
right.
you know, the minute you tell them no, you become the diva. You know, so, but I think I've turned that around in my career where they don't use the diva word for me. I get referred to as queen instead. Like, you know, yes, queen, no problem, queen. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've been able to successfully take that and turn it into teaching moments. Like, if I tell somebody, if I say no to something and I step in and I speak up for myself, I always explain to that person why and what they could do differently to get a different, respect out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't make it just a no because I said so. I make it a no, but let me tell you why and let me tell you what you need to do differently.
Right.
And I do that because I feel like the industry is not going to get better if we don't teach each other.
Right, exactly.
You know, we have to teach each other where, you know, we have to be willing to have these open dialogues and conversations so that we don't keep repeating the same things over and over again. And I just want to say, in regards to that bar in the song, that is the lead up to when I quit, when I was 17, 18 years old, when I became frustrated and overwhelmed. That moment where I said I feel like my voice was shrinking was because I didn't know how to articulate what I wanted and where I wanted to go, and I didn't know how to navigate. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to trust.
Yeah.
You know, and at that age, at 18, I had a situation where I had a guy who actually was stalking me. He tried to be my manager, and he started stalking me, and it became really, really crazy. I'm actually writing a book about it.
Oh, wow.
But it became a really crazy situation, and I just shut down.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know. I felt like my voice was shrinking. That's the best way I could describe it. I felt like I didn't know how to talk anymore. I felt like I didn't know how to express myself. I didn't know how to write my music anymore. I just shut down. And I took 6 years off. I became a mom, and, you know, I learned myself. I learned who I was. I learned, you know, what matters to me. And what I learned was I need music to survive, because without my music, I felt like I was going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I recorded this album. She was 2 when I started recording this album. I didn't want to record when she was little bitty. You know, I wanted to wait until she was old enough to understand that, mommy, you know, gotta go to the studio, I'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
But I recorded that album, and it was like so liberating for me, because I felt like I walked away from something that mattered to me out of stress, and it was so liberating to come back to it. Like, oh yes, this is me, this is my life, this is what I do. Like, and once I made that realization that this is who I am, like music is who I am, it just changed my whole life, and everything I've done since then has been just gold, and I've just been, you know, just doing so much since then. So, you know, this intro was like me reflecting on where I've been, and then looking towards where I wanted to go. So it was definitely a dope release.
Yeah, absolutely, and a very successful release at that. Heiress of the Echelon was a award-winning album.
Yes, 19 times across the country I've won an award for that album. I mean, I get awards in the mail and I don't even know what they're for, and then I'm like, oh man, this is for that. You know, like it's a great feeling. Like, and it, you know, it really, a lot of people listen to it and tell me it should have gotten a Grammy. Like, it should have been in the Grammy. They have a independent category in the Grammy now, and a lot of people told me I should have submitted it. And you know, it's just a solid project. Like, out of all my music, I mean, I love them all, but this one, like, definitely sets the tone for my career, like you were saying. So it's definitely my favorite.
Yeah, that's amazing. And really, if anything, anybody who's listening, who's an independent artist, it's inspiration to stay independent. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, there's nothing wrong with signing with a major. But you can have success as an independent if you play it right, and if you make good music.
And it depends on what you define as success.
Right, exactly.
For me, success isn't just about. I mean, I have 1 million streams on the first album, which by itself is a huge feat, because I put it out not knowing what I was going to do with it. I put it out with no budget. I put it out with like no plan at all. I just put a song out and it started taking off, so I wound up putting the album out, and I have over 1 million streams. And it's like, that being said, like, for me, success is knowing 1 million people listen to my album.
Right.
for me, success is even if they only listen once, just knowing 1 million people heard it is amazing to me. For me, knowing I've woken up in cities I've never been in,
right,
is success. I would never be in New Orleans if it wasn't for music. I would never be to Boston if it wasn't for music. I would never be. I'm getting ready to go out to the West Coast. I'm getting ready to go to Germany and Switzerland. Like these are places that I never dreamed I would go. Australia, I'm getting ready to go next year. Ghana, Africa, like, you know, these are places I never in a million years would have thought I would go. So for me, success is the life experience. It's not just about the money. Like, money comes and goes. For me, success is that I've been able to live a life that I'm proud of.
Right. That's it right there. That's you speaking to me right now. You give me some motivation right about now. Yeah. So we've been talking a lot about Heirs to the Echelon, but you have a more recent project out, No Favors, No Regrets, No Apologies, which when I first saw the title of it, when it first came out, I was like, yo, that's a dope title. Like, so
Thank you.
You know I gotta ask you, what inspired the title for that album?
So No Favors, No Regrets, No Apologies comes out of, I was in a label situation. I left the label situation, and it was just kind of me reclaiming me. Like, okay, we're gonna take this and we're gonna go back to the original me. Not saying I changed. That's not what it is, but I just wanted to do what I wanted to do. Right. And I wanted it to be the way I wanted it to be. I wanted it to feel right. I wanted it to be in tune with the first album. The second album, All Eyes on V, has more of a mixtape feel to it, and that's why I said I wanted to go back to what mattered to me.
Yeah.
The second album also had a lot of collaborations on it, because up until that point in my career, I had not done a lot of collaborations at all. And when I did them, they felt great. And I was like, oh, I want to do more. So I did I kind of overdid it. But it was worth it because it was a good project. It was good records on that album.
They really
were. The third album, I went back to minimal features. And on the third album, what I did was, if there is a feature, I wrote it, which is the same with the first one, except for a couple of verses. There's a couple of feature verses that I didn't write, but on the third one, I wrote the entire album, everything. Like, the R&B, I arranged it. Like the single that's out now with Shauna, I arranged it, I wrote it, and then I called her and was like, hey, I have a song that I arranged and wrote. I just need your voice.
That's what's up.
So, the third album was kind of, for me, I wanted to go back to what made me happy with the first album. So I kind of tried to, build on that. Like, I was like, if there were more songs on the first album, where would I want them to go?
Yeah.
So that's how I approached it. The second album, for example, has Flower on it, which is a lot of people love that song.
I love Flower. I love that song.
A lot of people love that song.
Oh, man.
So I hate overlooking that album, because that's the jam. Like, Flower gets me a lot of recognition. It's a very deep record. It's basically me talking to myself. And a lot of people love that track. Shout out to 3 Cuban in Ghana, Africa. He made that beat.
Oh wow, so, that beat is sick. That song. If I had to say one song, like top to bottom, is my favorite song in your catalog, that's it right there.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
I get that a lot, and I ain't mad at it, because I love that song.
Yeah, and you and Lyric G, whenever you and Lyric G get together, it's y'all work very well together. Very well.
Lyric G is the homie. That is my little brother for life. Like, I don't care what he's doing in life. I'm gonna call him and tell him to sing on something. Like, I love him to death.
Yeah.
Like, he lives down. I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina now, and he lives in Durham. I met him at a show, and I was like, hey, I need somebody to sing a hook. So I just brought him to the studio, and we just vibed. The acoustic version of Flower actually came out of my engineer at the time playing the guitar, and I'm trying to get him to learn because he was doing the hook, but he sounded nervous.
Okay.
So we just did it with the acoustic guitar, and we were just going through the hook over and over again, so he could do runs and get comfortable with how it sounded. and it came out so dope. I was like, man, we're keeping this.
Yeah,
this is gonna be the afterthought. Like, I love it. So he and we actually have like 6 unreleased records that aren't even out. So we had thrown around the idea of putting out an EP together.
You read my mind. You read my mind. I was like, I hope y'all put out a EP or something together.
Oh,
man.
we got a lot of stuff in the stash, me and him. Like, anytime we get in the studio together, it's fire. And I love working with him.
Yeah.
He's a good soul, good spirit. And like I said, that's my brother for life. Like, I don't care where I'm at in the world, I will go find him and be like, let's go.
And you can tell when you have like synergy with somebody, like, and y'all definitely have that synergy working together, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've learned in my life to go towards that. Like, previously when I was younger, I didn't understand that. So I'd be like, I don't know, we'll see what happens. But I'm learning to tailor fit who's around me based on that vibe. Like, if I don't feel that vibe and that connection, I'm not going there. You know what I mean? And I had to learn that. Like, trust your vibe, trust your gut. If your gut is telling you to go towards something, and if your gut's telling you to stay away from something, to stay away from it. You know, and that's basically how the third album came to be, was me going towards what felt right.
Yeah, yeah, and that's how it should be as an artist. You know, like, go with your gut. You know,
go with the gut. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the third album, the title is basically just me pep talking myself. Like, for going forward, we're not going to do no favors for nobody if it's not something that's genuine. We're not going to have no regrets about anything that's happened up until this point. And we're not going to make any apologies for being ourselves.
There it is. Love that. I love that thing. Love that thing. I'm telling you, like, I'm listening to you talk. I'm like, okay. I need to internalize all this. You speaking the word right now.
It's life lessons, facts. Yeah. It's life lessons. Like, it's me. It's a lot of my music is me talking to me. You know what I mean? Me telling me what I should be doing differently, and I feel like there's a lot of relatability in that, because there's a lot of people who need that message. You know? Absolutely.
I mean, when you really think about if you ever been in church and like a pastor be like, that word was from somebody, but then they all be like. They also be like, that word was for me too. You know what I'm saying? When you make music like that, it should inspire other people, but usually it's for us first. To keep us motivated, to keep us going, to keep us grounded. So I appreciate that, that train of thought right there. So let everybody know where they can find your entire catalog and where they can connect with you on social media.
Oh, I'm everywhere on social media. So I have to say something. I'm very excited. Google verified me this past month. Yes, so I'm very excited. So I have to say that first. So if you Google me, oh my God, everything comes up.
That's what's up.
If you Google me, right on the front page, any shows I have coming up are there. My social media is there. My websites, my videos, literally everything Venomiss pops up. So it's super dope. And it makes it so much easier when I'm trying to help people find me. But I'm anywhere on social media at It's Venomiss, and that's spelled VENOMISS. So at It's Venomiss. I have a website, www.venomissworld.com. And I do answer messages. So if you talk to me, if you got a question about something I said in the song, whatever, hit me up. I answer.
Yes.
I'm not bougie, y'all.
Show ain't legit. Like I can't tell you how many artists I reach out to and never get a response, but you responded pretty quickly too. So I'm pretty prompt. I don't know. I just have a thing about it. I feel like if you taking the time out of your day to say something to me, I should take my time to respond and see what you're about. So it is.
Definitely look me up. All my music is on Spotify, Google, iTunes, Amazon. This year I've done a couple of ciphers. I did a cipher with Blind Fury that's out on YouTube. I did a cipher with Chilla Jones, Quest McCody, and Marv 1 that's out. That just came out like a month ago. So if you're into ciphers, I got some of those floating around too.
Yes.
Brains, beauty, bars. It is what it is.
There it is. So first and foremost, I want to thank you so much for coming on Bars. This has been a great conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. I know.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let you introduce your song with Shauna Farmer.
Oh, yay. Okay, so we're going to go into Thinking About You featuring Shauna. This is on a new album, No Favors, No Regrets, No Apologies, and it's dope. Check it out.
Yes, indeed. I can co-sign that, y'all. It's a dope album. So we'll be definitely talking real soon, all right?
Yes, all right. Talk soon.
Okay, now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is Venomiss with I Keep Thinking About You featuring Shauna Farmer on the official Hump Day Motivation for the DMV and beyond. This is Bars.
Sometimes it's like you can't get them off your mind, right? Venomiss, Shauna, I don't know.
Say, babe, you were all in my brain. We met, I ain't been the same. See, I know that I can't complain, but your love got me so insane. When I'm down, come charge me up. Lift me up when I'm feeling stuck. Kiss me, give me such a rush. Show me love till I had enough. See, I don't know if I told you. Don't give up what you go through. I'm loving you as a total. I'm in love with you, yeah, to hold you. I ain't up a game of chasing what's real. I ain't never said nothing I don't feel. I ain't never felt nothing, is this real? Ain't playing game, let's go, but let's chill. Yeah.
Tell me what you thinking about, thinking about. I know you were thinking that I'm playing around, yeah. And your love, it feels amazing. I just want you here and I can't take it. I don't really want nobody else. And I can't wait to get you to myself. I keep thinking about you, thinking about you, thinking about you, thinking about you. Yeah, I keep thinking about you, thinking about you, thinking about you, thinking about you. Oh yeah,
I don't want it next time. You're mine, so I think we shine. Bright like a diamond, damn, you fine. Not just that, but I love your mind. Hands on you, feeling your vibe. Back rows, then I kiss your spine. Tell them chicks they can wait in line. Cause I'm loving everything you provide. And not just that, but you loyal. We go on trips and we spoil you. We the king and the queen, we royal. Yeah, you made my life so joyful. No matter what we do, we taking this win. Love me for myself, the skin that I'm in. Never worry about the things that have been. The way I feel now, we never gonna end. Yo.
tell me what you thinking about, thinking about. I know you were thinking that I'm playing around, yeah. And your love, it feels amazing. I just want you here and I can't take it. I don't really want nobody else. And I can't wait to get you to myself. I keep thinking about you, thinking about you, thinking about you, thinking about you. I keep thinking, yeah. I keep thinking about you, thinking about you, thinking about you, thinking about you.
It's time to get back to AJ Throwback and Bars, only on WinDCRadio.com and the WinDC Radio app, powered by GoWin.media.
Yeah. Once again, that was Venomiss with I Keep Thinking About You featuring Shauna Farmer off of her album, No Favors, No Regrets, No Apologies. Make sure y'all check out that album. It's on all digital media platforms. You know what I'm saying? Dope album, just like all of her albums. Make sure y'all check out all of her albums while you're at it. So once again, thanking her for her interview, as well as Shamain earlier. You know what I'm saying? We got like a 5-minute interview. That's probably the quickest interview I have ever done, whether I've been on Breakout Kings, whether I've been on Bars. But you know, we got it done. We going expect to see them both on the show once again. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate both of those Dynamic Sisters for being on the show today. Appreciate everybody who's still rocking. Definitely want to make sure that I make a few announcements real quick before we shut down shop.
Let's see what's happening on the Bars community calendar.
Okay, so this particular event that is coming up on September 19th, Bars is actually a sponsor of Stone Maple Music Works. They'll be doing their Back to True School special Thursday, September 19th, 8 p.m. to midnight at Spacey Cloud Lounge, 2309 18th Street Northwest, DC. Live art by Hot Nest Monster and Shep. Performances by, you heard him earlier today, Night Train 357, Double O Schizo, Soul City, Irk, MC Logic, Original Super Legend, L Better, Lord Better, Kenilworth Katrina, LSD, Fiend, B Will, and Impulse. Music by Vico Vibes and hosted by King RG, and the cost is absolutely free. So make sure y'all show up for that if you're looking for something to do next Thursday. And finally, are you interested in payments, cannabis, and cryptocurrency? Check out AvantPay, an inaugural conference bringing together private and public sector experts in payments, cannabis, and cryptocurrency here in Washington, D.C. AvantPay 19 will be held on Monday, September 30th through Tuesday, October 1st at the Omni Shoreham Hotel, 2500 Calvert Street Northwest in D.C. If you already work in these industries or are interested in joining the AvantPay 19 conference, is the perfect place to meet and network with the major companies in cannabis and cryptocurrency and the regulators that govern each. For more information, visit www.avantpay.io or email at info@avantpay.io. And also, as announced last week, the keynote speaker for that event will be none other than NFL legend, I believe he's a Hall of Famer at this point, Tiki Barber, who is also founder and leader of Grove Group Management. So you definitely want to make sure y'all catch that. I think he's on the second day on October 1st. He's the keynote speaker on that day. So make sure if y'all sign up for that catch that keynote. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get into this before we shut down again.
Words of wisdom to get you through the rest of your week. These are the Bars for life.
This particular one, I mean, all of them speak to me, but this definitely spoke to me, given some circumstances that I've been dealing with lately. So, John C. Maxwell says, "You'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine." So, that spoke to me because it reminded me that a lot of things that I'm doing, whether you're talking about bars, whether you're talking about myself as an artist, these are things that I have to do every single day, whether I'm thinking about it, just like keeping the vision in mind, whether I'm writing stuff down, whether I'm actually doing the process of creating. It doesn't matter what it is. I have to constantly work at it every single day in order to truly be successful. I have to constantly invest my time and energy into it. No matter how tired I am, no matter how much I don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Or I might not feel like doing it. I'd rather sit around watching Netflix or something. I have to sacrifice my time if this is truly what I want. It has to be done every single day. And I encourage you all to do the same. If there's something that you know that you want to accomplish, even if it's something small, invest in yourself every single day. Because when other people see you investing in yourself every single day, they're going to want to do the same because they see how passionate, how dedicated you are. So, Boss for Life for the week. Next week, make sure y'all tune in. We have at 11:15, we got legends. You know what I'm saying? Question Mark Asylum, hailing straight out of Maryland. You know what I'm saying? Those of y'all who may remember Hey Look Away, dope single, classic single. They will be here next week, 11:15, to talk about all of the new music, talk about what they've done, what they're doing. Of course, we featured their single Bars, featuring Kenilworth Katrina and Nonchalant. So you'll definitely hear that again next week. And also at the 12 o'clock hour, we have another legend of the Flip Mode Squad, none other than Rampage. So y'all definitely want to make sure y'all tune in for that show. We got a packed show. Darn near every week. You know what I'm saying? But It's been a lot of legends this month. A lot of dope artists this month. This September's been a good month. This is my birthday month, y'all. So, you know, hey, it's what September does. But anyway, make sure y'all stay tuned later today. DMV Culture Club from 6 to 8 p.m. and Grind Season Radio from 8 to 10 p.m. Only on WinDCRadio.com, the WinDC Radio app. Many of these shows are available. Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and of course, it's all powered by GoWin.media. Once again, shout out to everybody who watched today, listened today. Appreciate, gotta shout out my main man Narcissist for tuning in. Gotta shout out my homegirl Name of Let's Be Clear. Her and Becky, Mike, Mr. Sean, they had a great show last night. If y'all didn't see it, please go through the Facebook Live, YouTube Live on WinDC and check out their show from last night. Awesome show. One of my favorite shows since they've been on the air. Awesome. You know what I mean? Like, just a great conversation. And also, let me see if anybody else checked in. See my man David Green, appreciate you for checking in. I appreciate that, Calvin. I've been really working hard to have some great guests for y'all on, man. You know what I'm saying? Just dynamic people who have great stories. That's what we're about. We're about representing people. You know what I mean? So yeah, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Gotta shout out my main man Nico for holding us down, you know what I'm saying, with the sound and making sure, you know, we up and running, you know. Yeah, appreciate all y'all, love all y'all, salute Team Bars, y'all come through, show up every single week. We're gonna go ahead and close out. This is J.R. Dangana, I believe that's how he pronounces his name. This is an African connection, y'all, you know what I'm saying. I don't want to say the wrong country, but he's from Africa. That's all I'm gonna say. You know what I'm saying? This is Tupendane. And like I said, y'all, tune in next week. Enjoy the rest of your week. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you back here next Wednesday, 11 o'clock, for the official Hump Day Motivation for the DMV and beyond. Bars. Peace, y'all.
J.R. Dangana. Tupendane kwa mwili
Thank God for Calvin Williams, man. That's a Team Bars representative for real. Of course, I cannot shut down the show without the birthday shout-outs. Definitely got to make sure we shout out the Virgos out there, still celebrating Virgo season. And, of course, my brother, my main man, Pav P, celebrating a birthday today. So shout out to Pav P. Happy birthday to you, my brother. Stephanie Moore, celebrating a birthday tomorrow. Brian Peoples and Melvin Ward of Eat. Elevate All the Time. Awesome clothing line. Celebrating birthdays on Friday. My niece Leela celebrating a birthday on Saturday. RJ Morrison, Angelo celebrating birthdays on Sunday the 15th. My man Juice Almighty. Dope lyricist, man. I'm trying to tell you, brother, if you listening, I need some cleans, bruh. You making all this music, I need some cleans. You know what I mean? Latanya and Damon celebrating birthdays on the 16th. And my sister-in-law, my awesome sister-in-law, Tiara, celebrating a birthday next Tuesday. So shout out to all the Virgos out there. And now we can officially close out with this right here.
Bars.
That's it.
I did it. Mommy did it? Oh. Want to bars? Bars.